Hello everyone, welcome back. I might be starting to get sick, kind of. I got a bit of a throat ache, but it's fine. It's fine because we are practically recovering little by little today. Seems like we're about to make a new high in this current hour, based off of the recovery, of course. This is absolutely nothing compared to where we were when we were worth almost $110,000 for Bitcoin. But now that is unfortunately no longer the case. We did suffer a massive drop. But hey, at least, super trend has flipped bullish in the 1 hour chart for Bitcoin. The current price of it is 86,000, which we did touch upon just yesterday as well. After I finished streaming, Bitcoin's price continued to pump from 85,000 to 86. We used to be at 84 when I did start yesterday's stream, but it was consecutive hours of pumping, which was pretty neat to see. From there, we reached a low of 84,000 today. Currently, retesting that zone of, seems like 86,000, 85, 86. Can we get past 87? That'll be important to see. Seems like 87,000 is the next support. This is a bit of a fresh chart, I assume. Why don't I have any markings on this? I am on my main account, by the way, but this is in perpetual futures on a demo account still, since I'm still, not really trading or anything on it. So I've left it at that. I will draw a fib retracement from our all-time high to this current low point. Yeah, it did seem like 85,000 approximately. Around here, this zone, we would call it, is where our resistance is. So we're currently at that level, testing to see if we can continue pushing higher from here. This is a great recovery, though, from what we've seen, the low of 78,000. To be where we are right now, it's pretty impressive. Bitcoin can catch up 10% in just, what, 2 days? Yeah. It's officially the start of a new month, so we're leaving February behind us with a very negative return. Do I have this here? Yes. This is the returns chart for Bitcoin historically, monthly. And yeah, January was a decent month. December was actually kind of neutral, I suppose, right? Down 2.85%. January, we had an increase of 9%. Makes sense because that's where we saw our all-time high. And then February, man, because of all these tariffs and trade wars and all this random... Every Friday, it seems like there's just been bad news. So that just led to a downfall of negative 17%. January was like, okay, we got the Trump meme coin. Everything is going to the moon. And then February, everything got rug pulled. Argentina got into the action. Yeah, DeepSeek, AI, China, trade wars, Canada, Mexico. Seems like that's gonna continue though this month of March, right? It wasn't postponed until April anymore. We are going to get those tariffs in effect starting March 4, I think is what they said, which is going to be Tuesday if I'm not mistaken. Indeed, it is Tuesday, yes. So that'll be important to pay attention to, see what Canada comes up with this time, since it doesn't seem like, I don't know. They're saying that, oh, the fentanyl crisis that Trump is blaming this on, only 1% of fentanyl goes from Canada into the United States. So, Canada isn't worthy of receiving these tariffs. I think it's just a pressure move by Trump to annex Canada. Either get, like, maybe Loki's, I guess, wanting an election to get Trudeau out of office, because he probably just hates Trudeau or something. We all do. Which, I mean, Trudeau has already resigned, thanks to Trump, indirectly or directly, however you want to see it. So now we're just, I guess, waiting to get a new election. Naturally, it will happen by October, I think. October is when we're getting the elections in Canada. Or we can, get a vote into, if enough members of Congress or members of Parliament, sorry, are willing to get an early start on the elections. And yeah, we could have that. And if that does happen, Liberal Party will essentially accept their loss, the party of Justin Trudeau. because Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative Party on the right side of things, has got the popularity, is very popular in Canada, right? He is definitely going to get the majority of the votes here, and it's a guaranteed win for him at this point. These polls don't lie. It's just insane numbers, and I can feel that support for him. You see it all around social media. Literally nobody. It's you practically got a Kamala Harris Trump situation, right? Even though like none of the candidates for the Liberal Party are even as good as Kamala Harris, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, although Pierre Poilievre has a bit more of a clean record, doesn't have a lot of you know ways to attack him. He's a clean person, at least for now. That's what we've seen. On the other hand, people are accusing Trump of being like a rapist or whatever, that kind of stuff. So you don't see that kind of stuff going on here in Canada, though. So yeah, guaranteed election victory for Pierre Poilievre whenever that gets called. We were kind of blaming the delay in the election after Trudeau's resignation on the NDP, the New Democratic Party, whose leader Jagmeet Singh. We were all, expecting him, of course, to not follow through with calling a vote, even after, I guess, calling out the Liberal Party for their wrongdoings. And so we tell them, okay, well, put your money where your mouth is. Call an election, right? Vote for it so we can, get the majority of votes, to start a new election, get a new leader in. Of course, he would be the candidate for prime minister in this case. But he's also not very well liked by many, also due to the fact that he is willing to keep the Liberals, Justin Trudeau, in power until literally this month, March, which is when he would be eligible to receive his pension for serving in Parliament for X amount of time. And now that time has come. He has officially, enough time has passed for him to now be eligible for his pension. Now, will he call that election? That's what we yet have to see. There's your update on Canadian politics. I don't have too much stuff to talk about. Today's a Saturday, a bit of a slow day. Still recovery nonetheless for cryptocurrency, which is a good thing at least. This post is talking about it's a new month. March has historically been an up month for Bitcoin, I guess, after 2020. The bad news is that February was also supposed to be. Yeah, I agree with that. But hey, maybe February was the sacrificial lamb and March will be much better. Maybe this 17% drop was absolutely necessary so we can see another, 20% pump from here? Oh, well, if we do get a 20% pump, we'll be at 90,000 again or something. Oh, well, you got the idea. Still, a lot of stuff to be bullish about. We'll get into more details about all of that stuff in just a moment. I do want to go over the other coins and how they are doing some decent movement, around 3%. We ignore the altcoin. Didn't I remove altcoin index from here? Does it even work anymore? No, it doesn't. Like, ever since this day, February 13, it's just been this flat line with random, volatility spikes like this, which I don't understand why. I thought it was going to be an interesting thing to keep track of, but I guess not, until they fix it. Henceforth, I will no longer look at it, at least not on perpetual futures here. So Ethereum, who has been in this range for an extended period of time, has decided to drop, along with the rest of everything else, of course, over the past couple of days. We reached this very important support level at 2,068 was the lowest point. 2,085 was where I had my marking from the fib level, as well as an uptrend drawn over here, which would have to be adjusted, of course. And this uptrend is absolutely important and crucial to Ethereum, and I'm very glad that it did hold strong. Why am I saying this? Because if you look at the weekly chart, this is the uptrend that we're talking about here. Look how long this weekly chart is from. I feel like it's very thin. There, I think 2 pixels is appropriate. I hope so. Right? From June 2022, okay? This uptrend has held strong in all the cases. Even in the worst case of August 5 drop, we bounced off of that exact level, right? Well, this is actually, sorry, 2023. August 5 of 2024 was right over here. And we didn't even drop that far. So that's decent as well. However, of course, there's no denying the fact that Ethereum has been the worst performing cryptocurrency compared to the rest of the altcoins, right? Ethereum is the number 2 cryptocurrency. Why isn't it performing well? Well, there's a lot of factors why. Mainly the, I guess, Trojan horse idea behind ETFs being approved. We saw a good increase in price once those ETFs were announced, but it's more, sell the news, buy the rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news event. I think that's what it is. Where once the ETFs actually got approved, Grayscale being a major key player in that, has decided to just constant sell Ethereum ETFs. You'll notice Grayscale, whichever one of these two, $4 billion worth of outflows. So you file for an ETF just to sell. Alright, makes sense. On the other hand, we're expecting the ETFs to behave like literally any other of these ETFs, where in total they've accumulated, like BlackRock, $4 billion. Like Fidelity, I think, yeah, $1.4 billion. And then the rest, not as much, but it's still something nonetheless. Bitwise, 21 shares, Vanek, Invesco, Franklin, etc. But of course, Grayscale seems to be the big seller here, right? Resulting in not too much of a crazy inflow from the ETFs, right, for Ethereum. So that's what I meant by that Trojan horse analogy. Not too much going on there. And it's just been keeping this downward pressure. We're noticing like a lot of institutions, also these hedge funds, just shorting Ethereum very, very, with a lot of volume, of course, right? We did check some of the liquidation levels. I think one of them was above 2,800, the next above 3,400 for shorts. So we've still got a long way to go, right? We are still on our process of recovery from here. Next, we would have to achieve the resistance of 2,500 approximately. I have this red zone marked here as well, which was the support from before when we were in a range, but is now considered a resistance, of course. So it's going to take a moment to get past through that. Actually, matter of fact, I could just readjust this, couldn't I? Because that's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, approximately right in the center of that zone. Look at that. How perfect. So yeah, that's what we are expecting. 255555 for Ethereum. Let's see if we can reach that. We're currently 22222. Just to say for sure. Down 1.29%. Solana. Current price is $144.53. Down 3.53%, sorry. Good recovery so far, right? At least we're not at 125. It sucks to see Solana under 150 though, and that is one of the levels that I determined would be an important resistance. 200 moving average, simple moving average, serves as a dynamic resistance. So we're going to have to go try to get past that in order to confirm our uptrend, of course. At least that's based off my analysis in the 1 hour chart. 4 hour chart, we should see something similar. Yeah, 155. So above 150, we can confirm Solana will now be in an uptrend again to try to recover the territory that it lost from practically its all-time high, $295, almost $300, to now be costing $125. It's 2/3 of its price gone instantly. Well, not instantly, over the course of a month or two, right? This came from the news of course, Donald Trump announcing his meme coin. And where did he release it? On Solana. So, everybody liked Solana already. We do have some news about Solana as well that we're going to talk about. And, who ruined it all? Melania Trump. She also released her meme coin on Solana, which didn't perform as well as Trump's. Practically looks like a rug pull if you zoom out of the charts of both of those assets. And, after that, Argentina scam as well. It seems like every president got on Solana and then started scamming, I guess, people. All indirectly, I guess. So yeah, that has caused a major sell-off for Solana, showing a lot of weakness at this time. But we're on our way back up for recovery. After that, we're looking at 165, 190, 200 psychological level, 210, 230, 260. These levels look excellent, actually, for resistance. Like, they're almost at even numbers near psychologic levels, right? Price points that we could determine possible slowdowns in the advance back upward. I'm hoping that this was the bottom, right? A lot of stuff already happened last week in terms of iffy news, right? And from here, I mean, everything is practically priced in. Okay, we know we're getting tariffs March 4. What, are you going to sell on March 4? No, you're going to sell right now because you're scared right now. That's how Wall Street reacts. So they've already done their selling. What's next? Well, now that's where we come in. We start buying it all back at discounted prices. If you liked Solana when it was all the way up here, 295, you're going to like this 60% discount. I think that's a 60% drop. Let me do some drawing over here. Yeah, 56%, almost 60%. If I drew this precisely, I can't draw. Yeah, 57% drop. Hey, I'm actually not that bad at math, aren't I? What did you do? I didn't even click that. Oh my gosh, now I'm getting this notice. Alright, let me just refresh everything. It won't let me refresh. All thanks to one misclick. Great. Oh, I actually turned off my VPN. That's probably why. I got you now. Alright, well, it's still doing that. I don't want that notice to show up. It's annoying. Trust me, I'm not in a restricted region. I know what I'm doing. Okay, perpetual futures was where I was at. Apologies for that. Let's resume. I was going to click on Solana before... I mean, not Solana. XRP. And XRP, of course, it hasn't dropped as hard as its February 2nd drop, so it's been strong in that sense. Still showing some weakness, of course. 223 is the current price of it. It is up 2% today. It does have to break through two downtrends, practically, that we have drawn out over here. First one would coincide, I would assume, with the 239 level if we do stay flat for the next couple of days. Otherwise, you know, I don't think a massive pump is going to come up anytime soon. We don't got the fundamentals for that. Sure, we do have some great news, but it's nothing massively changing, like, especially for something like XRP. Unless we get an ETF approved out of nowhere, that's very unlikely to see it pump all the way to 258. The next level is 240 that we should be paying attention to, 239 approximately. At least according to the Fibonacci retracement levels. That's all I have to say for XRP. Let's have a look at SUI as well. From SUI, we have current price at 282. Why didn't I buy at 251? I had an order at 240, which was this lowest point from over here. I do have to draw its resistance levels, so how about we do that? It's all-time high from 537. Also at a similar time from, probably not exactly, but pretty similar to when Solana was pumping hard, right? And SUI has proven that it's kind of been holding strong as well, because it hasn't dropped below its February 2nd point either. It did drop and it got pretty close, not too close, but you know, it's gaining its strength, regaining its strength at 280 approximately to start pumping past the $3 mark. From here, yeah, $3.09 is the next resistance for it, then 352, which coincides with where it bounced off from before. All right, cool. Looking good for SUI. In a 1 hour chart, are we seeing any difference? So far, yes. Super trend flipping green. And dynamic resistance at $3. So yeah, I would agree that's a crucial level. $3 for SUI. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Litecoin also proven to be very, very strong these past couple of days. Despite all these scary drops that have been happening, it's actually held at the top, right? $123.27. It's currently down 3.14%, meaning that yesterday was around the 130s. Impressive for Litecoin. Supertrend is unfortunately showing bearish though, but look where the point is at. Practically at where its high levels were, right above 140. If we're able to break off 140, we've got plenty of room to rise. A lot of upward potential for Litecoin is what I've been saying. This would have to probably be readjusted to here now. Can I go further back? Probably. Yeah, I absolutely can with this low level. Let me just draw this. Would it be from here? Look how perfectly that coincides. Right? This drop at 80, that was from February 2nd. We didn't even drop that bad. Like, the most recent drops dropped it to 106. I had trigger orders like right over here and right over here somewhere. They didn't get filled. Like, that's how strong Litecoin has been. It did not drop hard enough. I will draw, however, our resistance levels from practically its yearly high. Oh, well, last year's high, I guess. No, last year was a bit higher too. Way earlier in April, but I'm not going to go that far back. We'll just go from here, and we'll take the lowest point that we dropped here, February 2nd, to determine our next resistance level, which appears to be agreeable, right, at 132. Next one would be 140, the clear resistance that we have after bouncing off of it twice over here. Then 147 is the high from over here, and then from there, we're going to the moon for Litecoin. Uptrend is looking very strong, though, longer term. I am kind of seeing this downtrend, though, that has to be broken, so would I draw this? How about from here? What does this look like? I guess that coincides with the 140, right? Yeah, practically. 140 is important to break out of for Litecoin. Bottom line. There you go. Cardano, don't really have much to say about Cardano. Kind of slow growth as well. Did reach a high of 132 at its best moment, but from there it's only been at a downtrend. I'm not liking that. I am aware that Charles Hoskinson is kind of getting involved with the government, but from there I've heard not much else from him. Very little, right? Super trend is still a little bearish here at 72 cents is the next resistance for it, I assume. From its high levels to its low levels. Its low level dropped really low, which doesn't make me happy. This was 9th of November. At least it was post-election, right? We didn't drop as far down from there. And the recent drops from right now didn't go as far down as it did on February 2nd. So that's another positive sign. If you wanted some positive news for Cardano, there you go. So yeah, resistance, as I mentioned, around the 70 cents. Coincides perfectly with that Fibonacci. Next resistance, of course, over here makes sense at 82. 91 is next, and then $1. Dollar would hopefully, well, 92 would be our target to break out of the uptrend, we're hoping. If not, if it's sooner, which I don't think it would be, this is going to have to be some parabolic growth to break out the $1 immediately. I think this is going to be the crucial zone, 90 cents, after we do break out of these two resistances. And hey, if we go lower, so be it. I could be wrong about all this analysis and everything and just drop to the floor. But I don't think so. Like, what's the point of everything dropping? There's no more fundamentals. It's all the bears had, it seems like, for me, right? All they could do was push it down here, and we should be thankful. We can get some cheap Bitcoin, some cheap crypto. We do have bullish news coming up, so how about we just hop into that? I'm going to prepare the news segment right now. Past week, all of this stuff has happened for bullish news. The Securities Exchange Commission dropping cases against OpenSea, Coinbase, Robinhood, Gemini, and Uniswap. And also Polkadot. It's not mentioned here. Analysts at investment firm Bernstein reiterated the Bitcoin will still hit 200,000 this year. A lot of people are analyzing, they have the predictions like Vanek has at 180,000. Pretty sure DeepSeek AI was also asked the question, how far do you think Bitcoin will reach 2025? They said 180,000 to 220,000. We've got other institutions that are estimating 200,000, Robert Kiyosaki 350,000, and even others estimating 500,000 for Bitcoin. That's a 5x return in 1 year. I don't know how feasible that is. I think that's a little bit too aggressive. But to be on the conservative side, it does seem like 180,000 to 220,000 seems to be the sweet spot for most people for the 2025 predictions. So is it over? Absolutely not. Can Bitcoin 3x from here? What's 8 times 3? 24? Yeah, 240k. Yeah, I'm talking about 80,000 to multiply it by 3. Bitcoin can 3x from this point. I could be wrong. And I'm just saying that for the clip so I can later on flex that I said this on March 1st. March is likely going to be a good month. Historically, it has been, so that's also a good point. BlackRock adds its IBIT ETF to its own model portfolio. Bank of America is planning to launch stablecoins, which is pending legislation. That is massive indeed. That's what the congressional hearing with Cynthia Loomis was a couple of days ago. They discussed that. State Street and Citigroup are getting ready to offer crypto custody. They will be also providing... No, they're not providing liquidity. I'm mixing it with somebody else. Crypto taxes may be improving. The House committee votes to repeal the IRS's controversial DeFi tax policy. You know, there's rumors that there could be a capital gains tax removal, abolish the IRS, tariffs will replace taxes so we don't have to worry about it. That kind of deal is probably going to happen in the US. Still being discussed, nothing confirmed, but it's still bullish news nonetheless. Michael Saylor, he got his meeting with the FHSC to push the US as a global leader for Bitcoin. If you want to know what this is, I also want to know. It's the USA. Really? Is that what it is? House Financial Services Committee. That's what it is. To push the US as the global leader for Bitcoin. Yes, that is indeed what we want. That is something that Trump also promised, to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, right? John McKernan, who was known for opposing crypto over regulation, appears before the Senate for a CFPB nomination. What is this? Consumer Financial Protection Bureau nomination. All right, well, there you go. Texas Business and Commerce Committee approved the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill, and it's now going to the Senate floor. That is also news that I had over here. Senator Ted Cruz has said that he wants Texas to be the oasis for Bitcoin and crypto. Wow, that's just bullish news. We have the Ted Cruz being very pro-Bitcoin there. Metaplanet, which is Japanese Michael Saylor MicroStrategy, I suppose. They're boosting their Bitcoin holdings with 2 billion yen bond issuance. Yeah, Japan. Buying a lot of Bitcoin. Same thing with Michael Saylor himself. Like, he bought almost $2 billion, I think it was, at 97,000, okay? Right before this massive sell-off, Michael Saylor purchased, like right over here. 97,000 buys. Makes this pump a little bit. And then what happened here? Bybit? Yeah. Bybit gets hacked. Everything drops. It was unfortunate timing, but, you know, the intention was good. Would have been neat if you just bought $2 billion a lot cheaper, right? 78,000. But hey, nobody knows where the bottom is going to be ever. Over 70 public traded companies now hold 656,762 Bitcoin. They acquired 20,569 last week. They're treating it like modern day gold, which it is the ultimate idea for Bitcoin, right? To become digital gold. Litecoin will be the digital silver if you feel like you're late to the party. All right. The Democratic CFTC Commissioner, Christy Goldsmith Romero, is stepping down, potentially giving the Republicans greater influence over crypto regulation, which is what we want, the party of Donald Trump, to improve everything, of course. Senator Loomis hinted that big things are coming with the Bitcoin B for crypto, and we will find out on March 11. What is happening on March 11? A couple of things, actually. There's some Bitcoin conference, I think, that she will be attending. She was invited to speak at, so she will be there March 11. But we have some other news as well. Okay, I'm just going to finish reading this first. Bitcoin is back above 85,000 despite the tariff onslaught we saw this week. Yeah, cool. So no room to be bearish here. Swiss National Bank rejects Bitcoin. They will regret that. They think it's too volatile and it lacks the qualities of a good currency. Well, we don't think that. This is what I wanted to announce. White House announces its first ever crypto summit on March 7th. Wow, I generated a bit of a lisp there. But yeah, that'll be good stuff, don't you think? Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, it's a rumor. Okay, it's rumored that he will announce the strategic Bitcoin reserve at the White House Crypto Summit on March 7. So March 7, keep your calendars ready for that. Friday is going to be a big day. And hopefully not a letdown. If they don't mention any of that, which they should, it's a crypto summit, right? Yeah, but if they don't mention none of that, we're going to see a sad drop. But that's the bullish news for the upcoming week, at least for now. Solana news. The token unlocks are over. Today was the day that, the FTX repayment for, they were also repaying people apparently in Solana. Not people, but it was these 3 institutions who won an auction bid a couple of years ago. Well, the unlocks are now here. Did they sell their Solana? No, they didn't. Why would you sell Solana at such a horrible price? Where is Solana? 143? I don't know if anyone's crazy enough to sell right here. Obviously, they're not going to sell. We were scared that they were going to sell like over here, right? Around the beginning of February. Middle of February as well. But yeah, it's clear that they're obviously not going to sell. They're going to probably wait until we reach another top point. They probably have the target set around this zone. If I had to assume, if I had to think like an institutional investor. Or realistically, I would just hold on to Solana until the end of the cycle. Once Bitcoin reaches its 180s, 200,000s. Yeah. This is what we're expecting for Solana in 2025. An ETF, it's not really confirmed, but it's very, very likely that it is going to happen. We just have so much ETF discussions and such a pro-crypto administration currently in office that we could see the Solana ETF, Cardano ETF, XRP ETF, Litecoin ETF, HBAR ETF we've also seen being rumored. Is that it? Am I missing anything? Yeah, I don't think nothing else. But yeah, all these ETF announcements, for example, like it has kept assets like Litecoin, Cardano, and XRP very strong despite all of these drops. Solana also had some ETF announcements, but it's just been overshadowed by a lot of other FUD, I guess, right? The rug pulls, the presidential scams, I guess, if you want to call it that. Anyways, Deepin, institutional RWA, double block space, 80% inflation reduction, Fire Dancer, 1 million transactions per second, and more network effects than all the chains combined. Solana, I think, is still a very strong option, right? It leads all chains in monthly DEX volume, decentralized exchange volume, for the 5th straight month, having a volume of 105, what is this, billion, $956 million. So, Solana is still very, very hot, in case you were wondering. That's all the crypto news I guess I have. Let's talk about Ukraine. Ukraine, Trump, of course, not Trump. Well, yeah, Zelensky visited Donald Trump yesterday at the White House. Kind of didn't go as things people were expecting, right? Of course, JD Vance calling him out for, being a little bit disrespectful and not being gracious with the United States for all the help that has been happening. Trump, of course, being mad, of course, that Zelensky's still asking for more money and stuff like that to continue the war, I guess, when Trump is saying, no, you should be finding ways to end this war. Millions of people are dying, and that stupid Joe Biden guy sent you so much money that he shouldn't have. So, and Zelensky's excuse was like, yeah, but you guys elected him. Well, there's probably election fraud going on in 2020. 80 million votes, come on. Anyway, that's a different subject. JD Vance made one of his talking points about like, yeah, I have seen what has been going on in Ukraine. And, there's people who you just saw in this video were being forced, right, to join the military, I guess, right? They would see young men on the streets and be like, okay, you're now joining the Ukrainian military, and they would take them by force and I guess kidnap them. So there's more videos in the thread, but yeah, you get the point, right? Probably some disturbing stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it. Given his disrespectful attitude, I guess, Zelensky, Donald Trump practically kicked him out of the White House yesterday and said, you know what? There will be no more aid to Ukraine. It's over. When you're ready to talk about peace, we'll be right here. But apparently Zelensky is not ready for peace, is what he posted on his Truth Social yesterday. So that has caused a bit of drama. And people, of course, are not as happy with it. Although I don't think the United States will be as impacted. Part of the deal was that they would be receiving Ukraine's rare earth minerals because Ukraine can't pay back the $175 billion that they were given from the United States under Biden's administration. So what else do they have to offer? Well, rare earth minerals. That's something the United States doesn't have. But since nothing was signed, no deal was signed, that is not going into effect, at least not for the moment. On the other hand, though, President Putin is offering the rare minerals deal to the United States and says that Russia has significantly larger rare earth reserves than Ukraine, which is probably factually true. They're pretty close to each other, and Russia is pretty bigger than Ukraine, so obviously they will have that the possibility to provide that to the United States if Ukraine will not. Hence, United States doesn't need anything from Ukraine, and they're actually just trying to help end the war. Is the stance that I'm seeing, at least from Donald Trump. So makes sense. Cool. What does Ukraine do now? Well, under Biden they received that $175 billion. Under Trump they're receiving no money. So what are they going to do? Well, I'll talk about this later, actually. He's now demanding billions of dollars to be received from Europe if the United States stops funding this war. So where does he go now? He goes to the UK. He visits Prime Minister Keir Starmer after being booted from the White House, essentially, to go ask for money, right? The joke there is that, like, it's like that one friend that never has money. So yeah. Meets with Keir Starmer in the UK, and of course there's also protests in the United States. I'll just talk about this briefly, like of Ukrainians being upset with how Trump treated the Ukrainian president Zelensky, and they took to the streets to protest about that. That's all you gotta know about it. Keir Starmer, of course, says it's an honor to welcome Zelensky to a Downing Street and reiterate my unwavering support for Ukraine. It's practically the same stance that Canada has, and probably why Canada is in the situation that we are in. He says that he's determined to find a path that ends Russia's illegal war and ensures a just and lasting peace that secures Ukraine's future sovereignty and security. Slava Ukraini. That's what he says. Hey, to end the war, all you gotta do is let, Zelensky sign that peace deal with Trump, get them rare earth minerals. Trump will give them some defense systems, and Russia will stop invading. That's all. But they were skeptical of that. Like, okay, well, what if Russia doesn't obey the treaty, right? What if they just decide to continue to invade or whatever? And Trump's like, well, I don't care. What if a bomb falls on your head? What are you going to do about it? Like, yeah. People, were, of course, were not appreciative of that. So the UK now signs a £2.6 billion pound, not dollar, defense loan for Ukraine. So, hey, Ukraine still wins. They found... Look at this AI thing. That's really funny. What they're doing with AI, man, it's crazy. There's also another one where Trump just gets up and starts brawling with Zelensky, and JD Vance just rises up to try to stop it as well. AI is going insane. Anyways, apart from that, King Charles, sorry, is also going to host Ukrainian President Zelensky at Sandringham tomorrow. So yeah, he's very well loved by the UK, I suppose. And also, this also made me laugh because Zelensky was being called ungrateful, and he wasn't giving thanks to the United States for their support. He now took to Twitter to literally thank everyone who mentioned their solidarity for Ukraine. A quote retweet and thank you for your support to literally all the world leaders that spoke about that, which is insane. Like, kind of like a slap to the face to the Trump administration. Like, look, guys, I am thanking everyone. You see, look at my Twitter. I thank everybody that says we stand with Ukraine, right? Yeah, there you go. Whatever. You know who else stands with Ukraine? Our prime minister, not our prime minister, Justin Trudeau. He left for London this morning ahead of European Defense Summit, seeking to set the conditions toward a lasting peace in Ukraine. Hey, the country here is in trouble too. Don't forget about us. He's also planning to fuel Ukraine's war effort with Russian cash. This is something I didn't really understand, and I'm hoping one of these articles would enlighten, or maybe Grok can enlighten me. Where's my Grok button? Did it move? Is it this button now? I swear Twitter with their updates. Explain this post, Grok. Kind of don't want to read all of this, right? Oh, well. I could probably just get it to summarize this web page. Great. Yeah, well, smartest AI in the world, everyone. I have been having some issues with Grok as well recently. I'm still doing that backtest stuff. I'll talk about it later if I remember to. In the meantime, I do want to find what this is. 3-step process to put Russian assets to work for Ukraine. Freezing, seizing, and forfeiting to the crown. Freezing assets, seizing, forfeiting powers. How much money? 140 million, 317 million. That's not a lot of money. Is it legal? Well, what? Oh, there's a Russian cargo plane in Toronto Pearson Airport. What? Oh, that was 2022. Okay, well, this is literally just yapping about random stuff. But hey, that's the idea, I guess. They're planning to fuel Ukraine's war effort with Russian cash, whatever that means. There you go. You know what would work, though, to save Canada is renaming it to Ukraine so that the Prime Minister accidentally helps this country instead, right? It's crazy that it might actually work, just the joke here. Hey, April 1st, next month, we're also getting a carbon tax increase of 23%. That's going to be awesome. Taxes is just everywhere in this country, so literally. Hoping that we can, I guess, get an election in beforehand. Jagmeet Singh, just do the right thing, please. Did you guys know that Citigroup, the third largest US bank, accidentally sent a customer $81 trillion instead of 280? How do you even mess that up? 81 trillion? Well, we've got a person that's a trillionaire right now. Maybe they received it back. Yeah, like the customer is completely happy, of course. What would you do if you woke up with trillions of dollars? Would I dump it into crypto? No. Or maybe. I probably should, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be believing in crypto. But then I'd just be giving my money to the rest because I'd pump the price of Bitcoin all the way up. Anyway. I would just help pay off the US debt. Hey, a bank could help pay off the US debt. Isn't that the case? What's the US debt? 35 trillion? This is 81 trillion that this bank has. Why are we suffering? Whatever. House Republicans are reportedly drafting plans to remove Black Lives Matter Plaza from the Capitol. I'm neutral on this. I just thought I'd share it. Don't really care about this. And it seems like there is another plane failure issue problem. A FedEx aircraft had to do an emergency landing at Newark Airport after the engine catches on fire, and it was caught on video by multiple angles. It's very frequent now. Like, what is going on with the planes? Every time now. It's getting more and more dangerous, it seems like. I swear, last year I heard nothing about planes. And then now we're just seeing a bunch of, planes flipping upside down, just randomly crashing. This one just spontaneously combusting. It's weird, whatever is going on. with the planes. Boeing's got to fix their aircrafts. Okay, and that concludes everything. What was I going to talk about? Backtesting. Oh yeah, so Grok AI giving me a bit of issues now with the backtesting. I've improved it little by little. Like I'm much better than where I was yesterday in terms of live testing it, but I've always just found problems in the code, right? I am letting it know like, hey, I want my outputs to look like this in the console. Modify the code. And it will do it, but it'll like duplicate some values or something like, okay, I asked to not duplicate the values. Can you fix it? Okay, it'll fix it. And now the logic is flawed. Now the trades aren't entering. Okay, the trades aren't entering. Can you fix it? Okay, there you go. And then it adds more stuff to like debug in the console, more random lines that shouldn't belong there. And then I ask it to remove it. And it's a bit of back and forth with that. But I'm on my way to trying to improve the strategy as best I can. The strategy is already good, but it's just like getting it to actually work and execute trades in real time. I just want to make sure that there's no flaws because I'm going to be putting real money on that soon. And, you know, I don't want to accidentally lose all of my money or something on a code mistake. So, yeah, I got to be careful with it. Got to backtest it enough using BST, putting it in the consoles. In the console, you know what I mean, right? The command prompt line. And seeing if it runs well. Also, I'm not sure if the 3x leverage is enough or not. I probably have to find a way to specify that. Anyways, yeah, that's all. There you go. Bitcoin dropping. 85,721. That's fine. We'll see tomorrow evening how the Asian market decides to start off their day. It's probably going to be a down day. They've always been selling off for whatever reason. Or maybe you never know. New month, new mindset for these people. And then Wall Street will follow the morning after. All right. That'll be all for today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found the analysis a little bit useful. And will I see you tomorrow? Probably not. I might rest tomorrow. Not a lot of news to cover anyway. Did I just spend most of it talking about Ukraine? Because it was a bit important, of course. The outcome of this war is also important for a lot of other assets too, right? It's not just crypto. Mainly also stocks or commodities as well, like natural gas, wheat, oil, gold, etc. So yeah, anyways. I'll see you guys later then. Bye-bye.